Hello. So I've been having some challenges with sleeping, and my doctors decided that they should have me do a home sleep apnea test. And I had thought about going in for one of the in-person types of sleep apnea tests, but the challenge with those is that I tend to have very odd sleeping hours. I tend to go to sleep about midnight and wake up at 8 or 9, and that would be unlikely to be appropriate in a hospital setting. So they try to make me sleep at times that I didn't actually sleep. And also, I'm really sensitive to lights or noises or things like that, and I sleep very well at home and not well in other places. So any sort of test they tried to do in a different location would just not work well. So I decided to see the home apnea test that they offered. So what they do is you go in for a short 15-minute visit to watch a little 4-minute video, and then pick up your material and ask any questions, and then they send you home with it. And at home, you put on the equipment, and then the next morning you bring everything back, and then they read the results. So you never get to see the results of any of this. You just wear the gear, and then when you bring it back in again, they interpret it. So if you go online and look for ApneaLink Air HST ResMed, you'll see the exact video that I watched to learn about how this works. But I wanted to show you what the actual equipment that they give you is. So there is a belt loop that you wear around your chest. And this is just to hold things. It's not actually measuring anything through your clothes. So you put this on over your PJs or however you tend to sleep. And this wraps around your chest just to hold the equipment. And there's the main unit where all the recording is happening, and you would push the button on that to turn it on when you're heading to bed, and then you push it again to turn it off when you wake up. That's really the only thing you do with the button. And the strap wraps around you, and then the units that it has that it plugs into it are twofold. So one of them is an oximeter, and I've done a number of reviews of oximeters on my site. So this is just a standard oximeter. You stick your finger in, and this unfortunately is a wired version. I have a number of wireless versions, so I'll be actually, when I do this, I'm going to be wearing a wireless version on my other finger so I can compare what their results are for the wired version versus what my results are that I get for the unwired version. So you would just put that on a finger, and then you tape it down. They give you some sensitive tape so that it doesn't actually fall off. But it's pretty sticky. I can't imagine that that would fall off. And even with my normal one that I have, the wireless one, I've never had a problem with it falling off. And the only other piece of equipment, but it's actually the one that I'm most interested in since I have a home oximeter, is the nasal piece. So what this is you see the two prongs in there. I suppose I could take it out, nicely sealed in there. Here we go. So these two prongs, this is the part I'm a little nervous about, stick into your nose. So you stick into your nose, this goes up over your ears, and then this goes underneath your neck. And this piece that's going in your nose is measuring the pressure, and it's able to sense when you're breathing in and breathing out. And it would therefore be able to sense if you stop breathing, which is a whole part of this. So the oximeter's testing your pulse and your oxygen levels through your finger, and this is measuring your breathing. And this part is the part that you really can't get for home study in many other ways. I mean, you can get tons of oximeters on the web. You can get, I've got a smartwatch. You can get smartwatches that measure all sorts of things. But getting through a sleep study is one of the only ways to get your hands on knowing how well you are breathing through your nose. So you put that in your nose, loop that over your ears, and this plugs into one of the ports on the chest unit. So the only two things that are being measured by the chest unit is the nasal pressure, the pressure of the ear, and then the pulse oximeter. And like I said, it's the nasal pressure of the two of them that I am most interested in seeing about. Oh, look, here comes the other cat, as if I don't have enough cats around here helping me out with all of this. The other things that are in the container are just the little pieces of tape to hold the things down onto your body, like you want to hold the oximeter down on your finger and hold they have you put pieces of tape on your cheek to hold this up against your nose for the night. and then some adhesive pad remover for the next morning so that you can get the sticky things off of you. So this is all very straightforward. You turn it on before you go to sleep. You turn it off. It needs to run for 5 hours, so even if you don't sleep, just let it run for 5 hours and then turn it off at the end so it gets some sort of measurement, even if you're sitting there watching TV or whatever. And then you bring the whole unit back in the next morning, and then they sit there and process the results on this and show you the graphs to show how well you were breathing or having any other kinds of problems involving your breathing or your oxygen levels or your pulse. So in terms of comfort, I've worn oximeters all the time. I've never had a problem wearing those on my finger. Having the thing in my nose might be a little more exciting, but I will report back after the process and let you know how it goes. But you know, there you've got a strap around your chest, you've got a little finger thing on your finger, and you've got some loops into your nose, and those are the three aspects that are in there. But I have to believe that laying in my own bed with my own set of lights and my own, the HEPA filter running and the things that help me fall asleep, it'll be much more likely to give me accurate results with these things on me. Even though it won't be super comfortable to sleep, it'll still be reasonably comfortable compared if I had to go into an actual hospital sleep lab and they'd hook me up with these same kinds of equipment, but now I'm trying to sleep in a strange sleep lab with strange noises and strange smells and all that other kind of stuff. So you just sort of have to accept it's not going to be perfectly comfortable, but you can get through it for a night, and hopefully it'll give you some information that your doctors can help diagnose what your issue is. So let me know if you have any questions about what types of things tend to be in a sleep grab kit. Now, this is just what they have at St. Vincent's. I'm sure other places have different sets of information that they give to you and that they send you home with. But I think many of them are of this ilk, where they send you home with an oximeter and with some sort of a nasal system to see how well you are breathing. So again, ask with any questions, and I'm happy to answer them.